Welcome back to the show. This is the roundtable portion of this episode where we get our last chance to ask some questions of our guests. Frank, we didn't get a chance to talk about this when you're on earlier. You've had some big news recently. Tell us about that.
Well, we just created a subsidiary to acquire a large amount of intellectual property in metallurgy and mining processing. I think will make a good difference for the company. It changed the business model, obviously, from an exploration company. It's now a company that's going to do technology and services.
And there are other companies out there, actually, a couple of them, not too many, who I've seen doing that right now.
We initiated that kind of business model with 701 Mining. That was the precursor to Argex Titanium.
Very successful company.
With Mark Billings, one of the directors of St. George, who was also on 701, on the board of 701 with me. And that was the same type of business model, where we want to do a vertical integration, control the process, so that we can go to different other business opportunities.
Right, you're not just relying on digging stuff out of the ground. You're actually part of the intellectual processing side of it.
Ideally, if we play our cards right, and it's too early to know, but that would become the main business model, where our insurance would be our flagship property.
Right.
Where we know we'll be able to acquire feedstock and the material to process, but our goal over time would be to process other people's material.
Well, you know, we haven't finished filming all episodes this year, but you're probably going to be winning most improved, given where you were when you first came on, and where you are today. So thanks for telling us that. Francois, we didn't get a chance to talk about the fact that you're a private company, but you're in the process of potentially going public. Tell us about where that is right now, and you know, what potential investors should be looking for, and where they should visit you on the web to keep up with that.
So yes, we are in the process of looking to go public, because we're in our growth phase. We are signing big contracts. We are developing our customer base, strong customer base, and we will need a lot of capital to grow in the defense, security aspects, but also the medical, and particularly the medical. And that will come from the public side. So right now we are entertaining accredited investor offers, but within the next 24 months we plan to get on the road and get on the stock exchange.
And you've been successful because you've already raised millions of dollars. It's not just an idea right now. You've been pretty successful at closing one tranche, and hopefully be closing a second tranche pretty soon.
Yes, exactly. So we are in the process. We have had multiple closing in the last few years, and we are continuing. We are very capital efficient, so we don't spend a lot of money for nothing. But with the growth phase, it's impossible to do it without having the right financial support.
That's a great thing about technology. You need the money at the beginning, but the scaling, once you get to that point, and you commercialize, the scale is off the charts. I mean, look at Apple, look at Microsoft. We're full of software companies and technology companies just with that model.
Yes.
Talk about commercialization. We didn't get a chance to talk about this with you, Cameron. At the end of the day, investors want to find companies that have achieved commercial acceptance.
Right.
Not necessarily doing the hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue yet, because they want to try and find you early. That's why the show is called The Next Biggest Winner. So tell us a little bit about how you've achieved commercial acceptance now, and as a result of that, you're ready to move into your own scaling phase.
Right. So we're at the beginning of our scale-up plan right now. Last year, we introduced our first commercial runs of product. That means we actually bring fish eggs in, we hatch them ourselves. We have a commercial hatchery facility on the island. We then take that out to our farm site, and we did our first 100,000 pounds or so last year, sold it half into the US, half domestically, generated a little over $500,000 worth of revenue, got the price points we wanted, got the customer feedback we wanted. So now we've got to scale the project, which means adding production infrastructure and adding to our distribution capabilities. The market's there to take as much of it as we can produce.
And that's a smart way to go, right? You don't want to plan for a $10 million run, only find out that the product may not be right, or the pricing point not there, or the customer demand isn't there. So that makes most sense to start off with that. And that's not a small sample. $500,000 in revenue is a sizable sample. But now you've got the confidence.
Oh yeah, and we had the customer saying, give us all you can deliver.
Great to have all of you on. Frank, great to have you back. No doubt for me, and I don't know about everybody at home, but no doubt a lot of information to consume, and I'm going to be visiting all your websites for more information. Well, the show's over, but your work's just begun. If you think you found the next biggest winner on this episode, then make sure you start your own research on these companies and make sure you speak to your financial advisor about your next move. Until next time, thanks for joining us and have a great night from all of us here at The Next Biggest Winner. Thanks, folks. Good stuff.